What's up everybody, Jason from Jason's Exotic Reptiles. Today I have a really special video coming your way. You guys have been asking for it for a long time. I've been trying to make it for a long time and I thought there's no better time but right now. So today is going to be Boa Constrictor localities. I have all kinds of different localities. As you see, I have bins next to me over here, I have bins out of the camera view over here, and I have some in front of me. So I have all kinds of snakes coming your way, some really cool stuff from BCCs, Pucallpa, Guyana, some Iquitos, Peruvian BCCs, the Longicatas, Tarahumaras, Central Americans, Nicaraguans, Sonorans, all kinds of stuff that I'm going to show you guys today, and some morphs of each one of these species that you guys can take a look at. So you've been requesting it for a long time. Here it is. Let's get right into it. The first boa constrictor that I'm going to start with is actually going to be a true boa constrictor, a BCC. This in here is an Iquitos Peruvian BCC. She was wild caught. This was kind of a shipment that came in maybe about a year ago. So this girl's about a year old, super pretty snake. She's not a very friendly snake, so I'm keeping my eye on kind of the camera and on her at the same time. But let's get her out. This is a true red-tailed boa. So when you see boa constrictors, this has been a big topic of debate on social media of calling boa constrictors or red-tailed boas by the incorrect name. So this girl here is truly a red-tailed boa. I'm going to try to zoom in. She's got a little bit of stock shed on her, but see if you can take a look at her. So that's this is an Iquitos Peruvian boa constrictor. So again, a true BCC. She's going to be a really pretty snake as she gets older. I said she's about a year old. She's probably a little bit older than that, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. I've had her for about a year, but she was about maybe 6 months or so when I got her. So I'll just kind of get a zoom in on the tail right here. Super pretty snake. So this is, again, a true red-tailed boa, a BCC, Iquitos Peruvian boa. They're pretty rare in captivity. There's not many people working with them. A lot of people trying to, but Peruvian boas in general, they can no longer be exported, to my knowledge. Maybe there's a way to do it. I don't know how these guys came in. I believe they let a select shipment of boas in, and that's how she kind of came here. This was about a year ago again. They had all kinds of BCCs, the Peruvians, coming onto the market. I bought some while I could, and then I haven't seen them again since then. So that's a BCC, a true BCC, Pucallpa Peruvian. What do we got here? So this one is on the opposite end of the spectrum, one of those snakes that stays super small. So if you guys are looking for a boa constrictor that you want a boa, but at the same time you don't want it to get big, this in here, in this bin, is an adult boa. No, they don't live in these bins. So before you comment, I know I'm going to get them, but we'll see. People skip around. So this is a Tarahumara mountain boa. These guys are from Mexico, and if I misspeak things, I'm not a boa expert on this type of stuff. I just enjoy snakes. I enjoy boas. So I may misspeak a couple times in this. Bear with me. I'll try to go in and edit it, but you know I don't edit videos. So here we go. So this in here, this is a Tarahumara mountain boa. These guys tend to also get some freckling on their belly. This guy right here is in shed, but this is an adult male boa constrictor. He's probably about 3 feet, or I should say boa imperator, probably about 3 feet. They do tend to usually get some cooler environments because they're from the mountains. Maybe that's a reason why they stay smaller, less oxygen. I don't know. I'm totally just making that up and assuming, but it makes sense to me. So I'll kind of bring this into the camera here. I am working with a new camera, so let's see if this gets some good focus on it. But really pretty snakes. And no, again, not a lot of people working with these guys. I don't know why. There's been some other species that have been taken over the market. I do start seeing these coming more often into captivity, but not as much as I would think I would be seeing them. So this is, again, Tarahumara mountain boa. Really pretty snake. They max out males about 3.5, 4 feet. Females about 3.5, 4 feet or so. A little bit larger, maybe 4.5 feet. But again, adult male in this little bin here. No, he doesn't live in it. So let's put him to the side. Let's keep going. What else do I have here? Let's pull out a big one for right now, or a couple big ones. These guys are also on the smaller side, and I'm going to call these the original IMG boa. I think these are kind of the increased melanin gene IMG that you'll see in boa constrictors or boa imperator. I'm going to use that way too many times in the wrong way in this video, so don't hate me for it, all you boa people out there who are kind of hardcore into that verbiage. But these are adult boa constrictor longicata, BCL, and I have an adult male. They do get bigger than this, but this guy, I should say, is a breedable male. And I have an adult female. See if I can do this without killing myself. So what's cool about these snakes is when these were babies, they were just looking like a completely normal boa constrictor. Maybe a little bit more browns, but for the most part, they were about just a completely normal snake. And every time they shed, as they grow, they get more and more melanin in them until they start getting these black freckles all over them. And eventually, I'm going to put this male back because he's starting to move around a bit. And I'll use this female as an example. But, you know, again, super pretty snake. They start to get, and there's different lines of these. The different lines, they get different colors. This, I'm not 100% sure what line this is. I got them in on a, my friend from Kevin from New England Reptile Distributors got these guys in, and I honestly forgot to ask. I don't care about this stuff. These are my pets. These are my animals that I enjoy working with. I enjoy breeding them and stuff. But lately there's been a hyper focus on bloodlines and all this other cool stuff, which is great, but I don't focus on that. I could care less. I look at the snake, I say, that's a cool snake. I know it is. I know it's a longicauda. I don't need to know who bred it or what lines they are, but I know other people do. And I do know the lines, so we'll figure it out eventually. But again, really pretty snake. They get this generally blacker color with the sandish or earth-toned type of background to them. And just super cool. These are probably one of my favorite snakes that I could have because they stay on the smaller side. This is an adult female. They will get a little bit larger than this, but they stay on the smaller side. There's a couple localized morphs within just BCL. So there's an Antery, which I do have over here somewhere. I'll pull out an Antery BCL after this to show you the difference between this is a normal one and an Antery or Anteristic Boa. And then there's also a zero, but we don't have many of the zeros in the United States. Those are pretty much a completely patternless boa. They're like a steel color almost. Really pretty snakes, but we don't have many of them. They're much more popular over in Europe. So let's put this girl back. Let's see what I can get for the Antery one. All right, we got her in. We got her almost in. She doesn't want to go in. She was having fun staying up. Okay, so the Anteristic. I got a lot of snakes over here. Hope you guys appreciate this video because it's going to take me some time putting these guys back. So this is an Anteristic BCL. Very, very pretty snake. All black and white. And again, I call these guys the original IMGs because they're just awesome. This snake, even as a baby, stood out from the rest, and I said that this one's staying with me. So really, really pretty black and whites. This is a full Anteristic animal. Anteristic means that it's lacking the red pigments, which makes it a more true of a black and white snake. There's not as much red in there. So super pretty. This is one of my future breeders. I'm in love with this snake. I really enjoy this one. I've been growing her slow. She's probably about 2.5 or 3 years old now, and I'm hoping that by next year she'll probably go. She's putting some size on. I don't want to rush her. I want to really make sure that she turns out to be an awesome adult. I also have some other males and stuff to go with her, but I am hoping to have a few of these guys for sale. I know I'm going to get those messages after this video because I got them after my last one. So next up, let's jump into the Central American, the Nicaraguan type of boas. I'm going to start out with a normal Nicaraguan, and then I'm going to show you guys a couple morphs, T-positive, blood, Hypo Blood, things like that. These are all, again, Central American boas, or these specifically are Nicaraguan. So this is a baby Nicaraguan. I would pull out an adult, but a lot of my adults right now are breeding, and I really don't want to disturb them. So the Central Americans, I think these are super underrated boas, and I'm personally going to do a video just focused on Central American boas, just on these guys here, because they, for some reason, have gotten a bad rap. They can be a little crankier, but anything small is cranky, right? Even people. Someone's going to hate me for that one too, but that's okay. So they do get this more of a rusty red color, as opposed to the red-tailed boa that has that true red. Really pretty snakes again. And the nice thing about these guys is they stay smaller. So if you're looking for a boa that is super hardy, because they're from Central America, the climate is a little bit more fluctuative, and it'll be changing all the time. So they're super hardy. They can really withstand a lot of different temperatures. They're easy to breed. They come in all different kinds of morphs and stuff. I'm surprised more people don't get into these, and I think it's because they got that bad reputation for being a little bit nippy. But in my experience, anything as a small animal is going to be, or have the potential to be, more nervous. So these guys are smaller boas when they're born. They're a little bit more nervous, but not unmanageable. They're awesome snakes, and I really recommend anybody looking for a smaller dwarf species of boa that doesn't have a lot of money to focus on things like the Tarahumara's or some of these other rarer species. Look into Central Americans. They're really cool snakes. But again, I'm going to do a whole separate episode just on Central American boas. So, keeping on the Nicaraguan theme, I'm going to pull out a Hypo Blood. This is probably one of my favorite Hypo Bloods that I produced last year. I should probably have more of these this year if everything goes well. I do have a couple pregnant blood girls right now. So the cool thing about blood in general, and again, I only show this to show you the variability within the different species that we may have, or the subspecies, or whatever we're reclassifying it as now. Again, I'm no expert, but they have these black eyes, and I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but they have these really cool black eyes, and the blood just brings out this awesome reds. So with selective breeding, especially if you keep these pure with the Nicaraguan that already has that rusty color, they turn out to be super cool animals. So this is a Hypo Blood. I think this is a male. Yep, that's a male. And if everybody's going to ask me, I got questions last time, how did I just check the sex of a snake? You do it by the tail. I have a whole video just on sexing snakes, specifically babies, and then also visually sexing adults. So we'll take another look at this girl right here, or boy right here. Put him back, because I have a ton of snakes to get through, and I hope you guys appreciate this video. So let's put this one back. If you haven't done it already, go down to the comments section, leave me a comment, give me the thumbs up, and keep subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my videos. I'm going to have more of this coming up, and I want to hear what you guys want to see. If you tell me what you want to see, I'll make it, or at least I'll try to make it. So one other Central American or Nicaraguan boa that I'm going to show you here is a Nicaraguan T-positive. So T-positive albino Nicaraguan. This is different than a T-negative albino. So tyrosinase positive versus tyrosinase negative. If you just Google it, it'll give you some general descriptions, but essentially, and we think that's what's going on. I'm no genetic expert, and most of the people classifying these snakes don't do the full genetic panel to figure out exactly what's going on. So as far as I'm aware, we believe this is a tyrosinase positive animal, which means it still shows a little bit of those colors through. That's not the exact definition of it. I'm not going to Google it for you right now, so go Google it, figure it out yourself, do something. Here we go again. So this is a super pretty animal, and the T-positive animal, it just kind of softens the whole snake. It takes out a lot of those blacks, but it doesn't take all of them out. So it gives you this snake that has this really cool glow to them, almost like a ghostish look to it. And this isn't the best example of one. I have a bunch breeding. I have a super pretty one that I almost pulled out, but she's got babies in her right now, and I didn't want to pull her off the heat just to show for the video. I really want to just leave her alone, let her stay stress-free, and we'll make a video with this, guys. So let's go in, and I do have some really big snakes coming. So what I do want to show you is this is just your regular boa imperimorph, but I thought it would be a good transition that we just looked at that T-negative, or the T-positive, to show you the T-negative. So this is a sunglow, super pretty. This is a lipstick line crossed with a coral. So very pretty sunglow animal here. This is just your common boa constrictor. I'm trying to get this light so it's not just super focused on the snake and washes out all the colors. With these corals, you'll never get all the cool colors in it. So I do try to get them in the cameras, but photos and all that stuff, you're going to never get it. So again, this is a lipstick line crossed with the coral sunglow. Super pretty. Those are just, they're just kind of a color enhancer. It's not necessarily a morph itself, but really pretty snake. And this is your basic boa constrictor or boa imperator that you're going to see everywhere, and that's one of those snakes. Again, you can Google it to see what a basic boa imperator looks like. It does look very similar to a Central American boa. This one does not want to go back in. There we go. So we got that one back in. Let's get into, how about Sonoran? Let's do Bolivian. I'll show you Bolivian Boa. These, again, are up there in my, maybe, I like them all. I was going to say top 5 snakes, but I like them all. So this is a Bolivian Boa. This is a male. These are really pretty snakes. I really like Bolivian Boas for a couple reasons. One, they don't get super huge. They generally stay on the smaller side or average size for Boa Constrictor, and they also have these really black bellies, which are awesome to look at. Their sheds are cool. This is just, they get some reduced saddles on the back. See if I can show you the saddles. You can see those saddles. These guys are from Bolivia, so they do withstand some of the cooler temperatures that we may get. But again, all these guys are Boas. They need that high heat and humidity. But really pretty snakes overall. I love the pattern on these guys. The bellies are this black color. And again, this is an adult male. This guy's probably about 10 years old or so. So I will not have any Bolivians for sale because I don't have a female. I just have this male here. And for all of you who make it to the end, you're going to see like my favorite snake in the collection. So she's the Pacalpa Peruvian BCC. So keep following, keep watching. You're going to see some cool stuff. Next one I have coming up is a Sonoran. Let's pull this girl out. This is a Sonoran Boa. I don't want to bother her too much because she does have babies in her. At least I think she has babies. I need to do an ultrasound on her. And she is het for leopard. She's pure Sonoran. These are also a really good choice for some of you guys that want a smaller boa. This girl's about 10 years old, and she's full grown, absolutely full grown as it can get. Some of them have these really pretty orange or mandarin colored bellies to them. I don't want to manipulate this girl too much, but this is a full-grown boa. Sonorans in general, they get about 5 to 6 feet from males, maybe 6 to 7 feet would be pushing it. So I would say probably 5 to 6 feet for males, I'm sorry, 4 to 6 feet for males, 6 to 7 feet for females. This girl, if I were to guess, is about 6 foot, but still super manageable. They get this whole different color tone to them. It's more of this orangey colors, and I hope the camera is going to pick this up, but they really get these cool orangey colors to them, and really pretty snakes. Super hardy snakes, again, because they're from those mountainous areas of Central America. Sonora, I think maybe it's Mexico, one of those areas. Somewhere down below the United States, below Texas area. So put this girl back. What I do want to show you with other Sonoran Boas is they have all different other cool morphs. The one that everybody probably knows if you're watching this video, or if you don't, I know you're going to like it, is the Leopard Boa. So Leopard Boas came from Sonora. These guys originated in the Sonoran morph. And I do want to say, I don't want to misspeak, but I believe the pied Boas are Sonoran, but I could be wrong with that. Maybe I'm just mixing up my facts. So these are the Leopard Boa. Again, a locality, or the Sonoran locality was the base. Now they're mixed in with all different cool stuff. But this is just your basic, your pure Sonoran leopard. This is a striped version. This is a super pretty version of a Sonoran leopard. Leopard is, again, one of my favorite morphs that you could possibly have. I personally like the base morphs. I don't like mixing it with all these different things. There are some cool things to mix with this, but I think people are going a little crazy just trying to cram as many things into a morph as possible, and they're not focusing on what that's doing to the snake. They're just trying to get this snake that has 20 genes in it, which it looks ridiculous. It just gets all mudded out. It's like a like a painting. You can only put so many colors into a painting before it starts to look useless. It just doesn't look right anymore. You have to selectively breed, and I think people are losing touch of that. They're just trying to cram as much crap into a snake as possible, whether it has a purpose or not. So, have a few snakes left over here. This one, I know a lot of you guys are going to like. This is the Guayana VCC. This, again, is Kevin McCurley's from New England Reptile Distributors. He's over here. He's actually breeding. I almost pulled him off the female. He was ready to go, and I said I need him for the video. So he'll get back. He'll go to breeding as soon as I'm done with this. This is a Guayana BCC. Super pretty, very, very bright red tail, very reduced saddles. Another one of my favorites that's here. I wish I could say I owned her, and I kind of do, but she's technically owned by Kevin McCurley. So it's his snake, but I have him here. He's breeding with the Guyana female right now. I hope we have some of these this year. This is a long-term captive animal. I believe it was wild caught originally, but wild caught like 15 years ago. So this is a really old animal, but super healthy, really, really pretty snake. And I'll zoom in on this tail because I know you guys like that red tail. So, man, he wants to move. So I'm going to put him back. Some of these snakes have a little bit of food in them. They were all fed about a week ago, so they're still digesting some of the larger ones, some of the bigger males that they ate. What else do I have? Pearl Islands. These guys are awesome. So Pearl Island Boas are super cool snakes. Another one of those dwarf species. let's pull this guy out. This guy was breeding, but I have 2 males, and he was kind of sitting in the corner as the other one was going at it. So these are Pearl Island Boas. These are similar to hog islands, but where they're a naturally hypomelanistic animal, but at the same time, they come from a different island range. So this is a Pearl Island Boa. These are also pretty rare in captivity. Some people are working with them. They can be difficult feeders as babies. Generally, I believe in the wild, they tend to eat lizards and stuff like that. So as babies, they can be a little difficult to get eating, but it always works out in the end. As long as you're persistent with what you're doing and you're consistent with what you're doing as well, you will eventually get them to eat. But they're not the best beginner snake unless you get them from a breeder who you trust and who can confirm that yes, they are eating rodents, whether that be live or frozen thawed. Definitely check on these guys because it can be a frustrating experience for a new keeper. But I always try to be super honest because the last thing I want is for me to ship you a snake and wow, this guy wants to move. For me to ship you a snake and you have a bad experience with it. So here is, again, the Pearl Island Boa Constrictor. These are also dwarf species. This is a full-grown male. This is also Kevin McCurley's snake. And he's probably, I've had him here for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years now. So he's probably about, I got him as an adult, maybe 10 years old, maybe. So this is my favorite snake of the collection. I'm going to need to get up for this one because she is huge. She is a Peruvian BCC. I got this girl and she was already massive. I don't know what the guy was feeding her, but he was feeding her a ton of stuff because she was huge, overweight. She's on a diet. She laid some beautiful babies for me. Those are the babies that you saw in one of my previous videos, the regurgitation videos, and then also the how to tame and socialize an aggressive defensive snake or quickly tame an aggressive defensive snake, something like that. I forget the titles, but go back and look at it and you'll see that the babies that this girl made, they were beautiful animals. So this girl is not a very happy animal. She's pretty grouchy. She can be nippy, and her head is huge. So I'm going to stand up and try not to get bit in the process of this. I actually need to go get a hook for her because I don't want to take any chances. Her head is massive. So got my snake hook. She can, once she's out, she's okay, but she's not a super friendly one. So here we go. She's already hissing at me. So this is like the queen of boas. She is an awesome, beautiful snake. The size of her head is absolutely massive. So there's my hand, and I don't have tiny hands. So she's got a massive head. She's got a awesome tail. And this Pulpa Peruvians are by many considered to be like the kings of boas. You know how like a king cobra is the king of cobras? The Pulpa Peruvian is the king of boas. This is about as big as you're going to get for a boa constrictor here, at least in my opinion. These guys get absolutely massive. She's pretty heavy. I'm out of breath just holding her. She's probably about 50 pounds, maybe a little bit more. I've never weighed her. I've never measured her. But she's a huge snake. She's definitely wrapped around my leg right now that you guys can't see. She's going over here. She's just a super awesome snake. But shit, let's see if we can get her on me. Again, let's take a cool look at her tail. Very, very pretty tail. And she's way over here. So again, these are the Pulpa Peruvian Boa Constrictors. Very, very cool snakes. Some of my favorite ones. She's pulling me off the chair. So this is probably about time to cut this video, put this girl back. Hope you guys enjoyed. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to cut it here and leave me some comments. Definitely make sure to like and subscribe. Give me the thumbs up. Do all that good stuff. I love that this channel is growing. I really appreciate you guys continuing to subscribe and comment. And I'm out of breath. Let's take one more look at her tail because she's awesome. I'll stand up one more time just to show her off. She's fully wrapped around me, and she's just a super cool snake. But again, these are about as big as you're going to get for a boa constrictor. I did have one common boa that's about the same size. One common boa. It's about the same size as her, and she's a handful. So I, again, appreciate you guys watching, subscribing, liking. Let's keep it moving forward. Thanks, guys.